So I'm going to make you the host so that you can take care of admitting, and then I can start sharing quickly.
Okay,
Thank
sure.
you.
No worries. That's okay.
Doc, if you want anybody to join, you can activate that. Deactivate the waiting room so that we can have them join. Or you don't want them to join.
It's okay. So I'm going to start the presentation.
Okay.
And I'm sharing my screen now. Can everybody see my screen, please?
Yes, please.
We do.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
you can see though.
all right. Thank you. So this is the Happy Healthy Home series on how not to lose your child to social media and online vices. And as I've already introduced myself, I'm Dr. Nanesi Geditete, a medical doctor at Ifan Fantarina Hospital. I'm a child development expert, and I'm also a fellow of the National Institute for Children, Toddlers, and Families in the USA, also known as the 0 to 3 Academy. Last week, we started talking about this issue, and we did a general overview. We talked about a few global statistics, and we mentioned that as of January 2020, nearly half of the world's population, 4 billion people, were using social media. And we said that every 60 seconds, so many things happen on various social media platforms. We also talked a lot about local statistics, where we said that as of 2017, 7 out of 10 children in Ghana were actually using the internet for some form of studies. Now we know that children are using the internet more and longer now. And we discussed a few. Can somebody, can everyone mute their phones, please? All right. So we said that there were certain risks that children are exposed to on the internet. And we mentioned a few, like cyberbullying, like phishing. We talked about grooming, trafficking. We talked about stranger invitations. And then we talked about a few parental strategies that we need in these times. Today, by the end of this presentation, we hope that we would have emphasized the need to control exposure to social media in children. We'll create a little awareness about the downsides of social media exposure because of its impact on mental health. And then we'll share a few tips on how to stay mentally healthy ourselves, and then how to help our children also. And then we'll go on to talk about a few parental controls. So this journal called Cyber Psychology, Behavior and Social Networking in 2015 actually researched and found out that young people who use social media heavily, that is more than 2 hours every day, on social networking sites, are more likely to report poor mental health, including psychological distress. Now, even though we know that as a fact, we cannot overemphasize the benefits of the internet. It's a very relevant resource for searching and sharing information, learning new ideas and innovations, education and learning, marketing and businessing, and connecting with people and communication. So how is social media designed? Now, it's important for us to know how social media is designed. It's actually designed to snare attention, to keep people online, and to keep us engaged so that we'll be checking updates repeatedly. And this is how they make money from us. Okay, so there's a psychological craving that it creates. And on most social media platforms, we receive likes, shares, favorable reactions to posts. And what these things do is that they trigger dopamine. It's a hormone in our brain. That is a reward chemical. Now that hormone makes us excited, it makes us happy, it makes us engaged. It's the kind of joy we get when we eat chocolate and when we are excited. Dopamine does that. So the more rewards we get, the more time we spend, even if it's detrimental. So that is the idea behind social media. And that is how some people have decided to engage us and the whole aim is to make money. So for instance, different social media platforms will tell you, for instance, if it's about donuts, Facebook will be talking about how people like donuts. YouTube will teach you how to eat the donuts. Okay, if you know Quora, it's all about asking questions. Is it donuts? Is it spelled D-O-N-U-T or D-O-U-G-H-N-U-T? Then LinkedIn will show you where you can work in a donut shop or who is making donuts. It's interesting. So all these platforms have positioned themselves well to take advantage of us one way or the other. And so social media shows up in many different forms. And the interesting part of it is to know that more than 11 new people begin using social media every second. So this is the space in which our children are operating in. And this is why this subject is very relevant. So why do children, and in fact all of us, why do we crave social media? One, as social beings, we have a need for social interaction. We need to stay connected, and social media will take away our loneliness. We have a need for acceptance. So when we get the reactions and the validations from our posts, then we are happy because that need is being met. We have a need for self-affirmation. Okay. So in fact, there's pressure to do so for others. You think that, oh, when I affirm my brother to affirm me and I'll feel good, then we're all happy. With teenagers, they are struggling at this time with the question of who am I? There's a point where they start building their identity. Okay. So they need to be visible, they need to explore who and what they want to be. They need validation. Very important. And social media is providing that validation for them. And then finally, we all crave escapes and entertainment. So when you're happy and you get home and you want to unwind, so you go to WhatsApp to see who is saying what is funny. It's a positive experience and it's fun, but then it has a downside, which we cannot be quiet about. So let's talk a little bit about social interaction with human beings. Okay, when we interact with other human beings as children, we develop secure attachment with significant others. And secure attachments are very important. It is the warm, sensitive relationship we have with people. It helps us later on in life to be very sociable in a way that makes us productive. It helps us to be creative. It helps us to solve problems. It helps us to not be afraid to explore. And a child will be everything that they can possibly become when they grow up knowing secure attachment. And of course, the opposite is insecure attachment. And when you're insecure, it comes to a lot of problems and burden. In fact, the whole world is what it is because a lot of people are insecure. They're afraid, they're paranoid, they can't put their talents to good use, and they can't be all that they have to be, and they won't allow other people to also be because of insecurity. So social interaction with human beings is very important. Now, when children begin to interact with human beings, they learn about the world, and through conversation, they are exposed to language. Now, exposure to language is the foundation for reading and writing. Okay, so a rich exposure to language makes them better readers, writers, orators. So if there's a lack of exposure to language, it harms the structure of the brain. And from birth to 6 years, the brain is constantly changing depending on what you are exposing it to. So it's responsive to environmental factors. So lack of exposure again leads to reading difficulties. There's no phonological awareness. In fact, cognition goes down. It's been found that the IQ of a child is influenced largely by social interaction and by exposure to language. So what interaction with technology does is that it restricts their opportunities to communicate with their parents and other elders around them. So you can see that when children are too young and we expose them to technology and they don't have the chance to communicate, we are not helping them too much. So what are the effects on toddlers and children? They end up with developmental problems. It affects their language and communication skills, motor coordination because they sit at one place, they don't do much activity, They're just looking on their phone, on their tablets. And we see that all the time even in the hospital. Children come in, their parents have given them tablets, they are engaging them. And the thing is it's such a beautiful thing. And what is it? What is the impact on it, on your child's brain? Then it affects attachment. So like I said, your child is losing on the opportunity to become secure. It affects cognition, hyperactivity, makes them hyperactive. Because, for instance, the child is playing video games that require them to be smart and their impulses are triggered the whole time. You end up with attention deficit issues. And then they're not able to control their emotions very well because they don't interact with human beings. It's images on the screen that they can push and pull and do what they like with. So self-control is not there. So when the social media become a problem for teens, let's talk about teenagers. Because they're emotionally wired, now they become emotionally dependent on social media. And when it becomes their priority and they focus on it so much, they tend to suffer what in technology terms is known as FOMO, fear of missing out. And for some teenagers, even social media is no longer an interest, it is their identity. But ideally, we should keep it in a place where it's an interest. It doesn't take over to become an identity. So the outcome is that they'll tend to hide things that are not acceptable about themselves. They are beginning to have self-image problems. They'll tweak or filter an image to make them look better. Follow people who are less attractive to make them look more attractive. And they always want to show the best version of themselves. Now your child is on the way to sort of learning how to not to be real. Because there's a pressure, there's a demand to also meet some kind of standard. So we must be concerned. And especially now that we're not in normal times, when children are spending more time online, longer exposure, easy access. And in fact, we know that there's a mental health pandemic running alongside COVID-19. And public health persons have warned about the aftermath of COVID. That the number of people who are going to have mental health problems after COVID is going to be so serious. Which means that whilst we are going through it, look, we have to have a plan. We have to have wisdom. We need grace to know what to do so that by the time COVID is gone, the problems and the devastation that is leaving behind will be exempt. So the whole aim of this presentation is not to overwhelm you, not to make you afraid, but to make you be informed and to be socially smart. And at the end of the presentation, I'll tell you what it means to be socially smart. So there's advantages of social media. We talk about the benefits, but the disadvantages is a distraction to students. I wonder how the students are able to even study in this time of social media. They tend to have relationship problems because they don't take their time to build relationships with others. They get jealous. The social media triggers all sorts of emotions, psychological arousal. There's negative effects on worker productivity. When we go to work, the little time we get, we're looking at our phone. Last week, we talked about illegal crime and virus attacks a bit. And today, we're talking about the health problems. And typically, the mental health problems. So what's the general effect of mental health? One, there are self-esteem challenges. And there's something they call Facebook envy. So you are seeing people showing where they are, what they are doing. And it's attractive. You're not going anywhere. It triggers feelings of envy. And not be in a short time, you start not liking yourself. Then we've already talked about the connection with physical beings. When it turns to a point where there's addiction, the connection with human beings becomes very less. And we always want to grab our device and be on it. There's memory distortion and pressure to impress. There's pressure to catch up, pressure to be updated. Okay, and this memory distortion has to do with the bombardment of information. So the bombardment of information not only is a distraction, but it doesn't help us to put other things into our memory because there's so many things coming into the brain within a very short time, and the brain doesn't have time to really consolidate some of the things we need to actually put in there. And then there's poor sleep. I'll talk about that. Then we have serious mental health problems: anxiety, sadness, depression, loneliness, and suicide. there's the issue of self-absorption, where people become so absorbed and engrossed with selfies. So they need to take selfies so that they can post on Facebook. They need to take selfies. They can post on Instagram. It's a problem. It can be a problem. Impulse control problems. We talked about even the impulsive nature that some of these things create. And we saw that typically when the pandemic started, I mean, there was such an urge to forward every message. So you see that from that we can even see that we have impulse control problem. Every message you want to forward, quickly forward it. And some of them, most of them actually were false information that we're actually passing around. And the constant alerts and notifications actually affect our concentration and focus. And it makes us a slave to the phone because constantly you get a beep you want to see, you get a beep you want to see. It's been found out that the average number of times that people check their phone is 28 times in a day. In a single day, 28 times. That's serious. And I think that recently when I put off my WhatsApp notification, it really helped me. And I said, so life can be sweet like this. And because on WhatsApp, imagine how on WhatsApp and everybody's talking at the same time. And everything that anybody says, the person just wakes up and says, you get a notification. You have to look at it. There's a vicious cycle of feeling lonely. And when you feel lonely and bored, you go to social media. Now, the more you take your loneliness there, the more you feel inadequate and dissatisfied. So it leads to depression. And the more you feel depressed, the more you think that social media will help you. But then it's actually harming you. Okay. Now, cyberbullying, it leads to loss of confidence and self-worth because you're online with people who are hating you. It can lead to depression, anxiety, loss of sleep, and even people have committed suicide because of the way other people treated them on social media. It leads to loneliness. So depression it's been stated that the more superficial the interaction, the less likely it's going to cause you to feel connected. So as you go deeper and deeper in installing apps, you're on Twitter, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on this, you're on that, and it's so superficial. In fact, it is more likely that you're not going to feel connected. Okay, and many people have started depression because they've been challenged to get their bodies to match up with some ideal body image. So the men are talking about six-pack and all that. They're unhealthy comparisons. And that's what leads to what they also call Facebook depression. Because you are seeing your friend. In fact, I have a friend who always shows up dressed up. She takes pictures every morning. She puts them up. And she always has a different bag, a different shoe, a different this, a different that. And if you are watching her, you'll be depressed though, because she's not going to stop. She says she's not going to stop. And how do you compete? You know, so there are a lot of things going on social media that we need to be aware of, and we know about. So we have to be afraid of when it comes to our children. Then there's anxiety. Okay, talk about the standard being created and how the fear of missing out leads to lower mood and lower self-satisfaction. Now, lack of sleep. Sleep is very important in adolescents. Adolescents must get about 8 to 10 hours sleep every night. Now, because of the fear of missing out, they'll be checking their phones constantly. As soon as they wake up, anytime they wake up, they go to their phone. They don't get enough sleep. Now, what happens is that it makes them exhausted. Their brain doesn't get to be refreshed. And when they go to school, it tends to reflect in their performance. And then they tend to also have behavioral problems because they are grumpy, they didn't get enough sleep. And now it's all because they were social media. And I've got friends back in SHS who actually confessed to this, that we're hiding phones in school, using them. And because of that, during the day, they sleep when the child is teaching. Now, this is a physical health problem, the text neck. And it's been predicted that in the next few years, you're all going to suffer text neck because we are constantly looking down at our cell phone or devices. It's too frequent and it's too long. you're going to have neck pain and some sustained damage if you're not careful. So the question people ask all the time is, how long should children spend on the screens? Now, when you talk about screen time, it's a combined time in front of all types of screens. So you take the smartphones, the computers, the TV, the tablets, etc. You combine the total time the child spends on in a day. So we call screen time. And there's no one size fits all duration because there are limited studies on it. It will depend on the family values and lifestyle. It will depend on the child's age, the health of the child, the general health, and then the quality of content that they're even watching. Sorry. So the University College of London, the Child Health Institute, in 2019 conducted studies. And they found out that higher levels of screen time associated with a variety of health harms for children and young people. So sitting in front of the screen for a very long time, children are sedentary, they tend to become obese. And with the triggering of all the hormones that I mentioned earlier, they tend to eat unhealthily. So they crave for sugar stuff. And all those things will contribute to the obesity. They don't eat healthy. Then longer times result in depressive symptoms because they're not connecting with human beings. And the need is to connect with human beings. Don't forget that. Okay, so they end up with a reduced quality of life because if you're not connecting with human beings, look, your life is endangered. However, the good news is that the American Academy of Pediatrics have recommendations concerning screen time. And these are their two recommendations. One, that you should develop a family plan considering the health, education, and entertainment needs of each child in the family. So there should be a family plan. And then you should use general media guidelines. So what are these general media guidelines? Under 18 months children, they recommend that we avoid the use of screen media other than video chatting. So if the child is less than 18 months, the only time they should use the screen is to do video chatting. The rest of the times, engage the child more physically, engage the child in activities. You know, at 18 months, they can start scribbling, they can start doing games, puzzles physically, not on devices. Saying that your child will be on a better trajectory than introducing your child to tablets and mobile phones. Parents of children between 18 and 24 months should also choose high quality programming with their children and watch with them. I think the limit here is an hour. Okay, I missed it in the presentation, but it should be an hour. So you should limit them to an hour a day. So high quality programming. There should be co-viewing. For children between 2 to 5 years, so limit the screen time also to an hour per day, co-viewing. Then children who are more than 6 years, there should be a consistency in the time limits that you place on them. And then you should also be choosing the type of media. Now we have to make sure that the media does not take the place of adequate sleep, physical activity, and other behaviors essential to health. So this is what the American Academy of Pediatrics is recommending when it comes to screen time for the different age groups. So how do you help a child or teen who has problem with social media use? And a lot of our children and teenagers actually have this problem, and we need to help them. You need to monitor and limit their exposure. And then we'll also be talking a lot about engaging them in open dialogue and being allies with them. So as a parent, your interest is not to descend on your child in a condescending manner, but to be an ally, that they know that you are working with them to get the best out of social media and not to sort of police them in a way. Then you have to teach them to enforce social media breaks. So look, some weekends, let's go on social media. The whole weekend, just go off. You will thank yourself for taking that decision. Teach the child how social media is not an accurate reflection of people's lives. So a lot of the things that we see on social media, they're not true. They're not real. People are showing us things that about themselves that are not real. It's not accurate. But children can easily follow those things. Even we ourselves, some of us are caught in that entrapment. We need to encourage exercise and offline interest to engage them offline. And whatever it will take for you to engage them offline, do. Okay. Recently, I was happy when I bumped into books, verbal reasoning, quantitative reasoning. Those books are not in our curriculum anymore, but they are still on the market. And it's good to engage your child, sit down and reason, verbal reasoning. And in fact, this is an issue that we have to talk about because it'll be good to bring it back into our school system. Okay, so signs that social media is impacting your own mental health as a parent. One, you're spending more time than with your friends. You're comparing yourself probably with others. You're experiencing cyberbullying. And cyberbullying can include exclusion, where you're on a platform, but probably they've even found another platform and excluded you and discussing issues without you. And you're beginning to sense that no, you have been excluded. That's bullying. Okay? When social media is distracting you at work or school, it's an indication that your own mental health is being affected. Having no time for self-reflection, so you're constantly engaged. You don't self-reflect, you don't make time to think about your own life, what's happening, what is going on. You're constantly engaged. Okay, and then engaging in risky behavior in order to gain likes. Some of the things that we see the so-called celebrities doing, and recently we saw one that everybody talked about. They are actually doing it to gain likes. Okay, it's not. They are not. They're not planned to be mischievous. They have gotten to a point where they have become so into social media that when they don't get people talking about them, they don't feel happy. Okay, so when you're having sleep problems because you're engaging on social media, or your anxiety and depression is worsening, you need to pause and take care of yourself. So what do? How do you help yourself? Reduce your time online. You can use an app to track your time spent, and we'll be talking about how to track the time that you spend on the iPhone, on iOS devices shortly. Turn off your phone at certain times. Don't take your device to bed. Disable notifications. Limit your checks. Move some of the apps. Change your focus. Okay, are you substituting your real life with social media? Are you an active or passive user? Does social media leave you inadequate or disappointed? You need to watch it. Spend time with offline friends, and I'll put COVID times, query COVID time, because now these times we are encouraged to stay at home. Okay, so the third point is not very relevant in these times. But ideally, that would have done the trick. And then express gratitude. We need to take time more to appreciate what we have and who we are. Now, this is the reason why a lot of us feel inadequate and dissatisfied, because we're not taking time to reflect and be thankful for where we are in life. We need to practice mindfulness, and we need to volunteer, be socially aware of what is going on and how we can help. So it's important for you to take care of your own mental health, because if you cannot take care of your own mental health and how you use social media, I don't see how you can help your child. You can't give what you don't have. Okay, so this is why we need to take care of our own self, and we need to be socially smart in these days. So being socially smart involves 4 points. If there's anything to take away from these presentations that we are making, are these 4 points. One, what ground rules will be best in protecting your child without being overprotective? So you need to think about. Two, what are the best ways to monitor your child's habits so that your child doesn't get addicted to social media? Is living a balanced life, widely involved in all other things. Social media is only an interest. Three, how do you educate your children? Talk to them on making wise choices when they are online. And then for what parental controls or apps or software can help you control what they have access to. And there are so many. And today we'll be sharing quite a number of them with you, so that later on you can go back and decide what will be beneficial to you. So the take-home message is that everything was done in moderation. Consider media usage as a diet. Okay, no single diet is right for everyone. There's nothing like that. Different people require different diets. However, the diet must be healthy, and that's why quality. The screen must be quality, and they must be monitored. Thank you very much. So I've added a slide here, how to use social media positively. You can, later on we share the presentation, you can look through and teach your children how they can use social media positively. And this is what will bring fulfillment when you're using social media positively. Okay. And then I've also shared some top 4 parental control apps in 2020. These are very good depending on your needs. If you want to monitor social media, Back is good. If you are looking at a teenager and they have problems with pornography, Custodio is good. Netplan is for younger children. Kaspersky Safe Kit is cheaper. So all these four, you have to pay something, but Kaspersky Safe Kit is better. But then there's the one exciting one, our pack, which is good for users, Apple users, and it's also free. I've shared all these references, and we hope that you're going to benefit from all that we have shared, and you're going to be socially smart after this presentation. Thank you very much for giving the audience. So, having presented on the impact of social media on our mental health, let's talk a little about the parental controls. Emmanuel, are you ready to take us through? Emmanuel. Mr. Emmanuel Arthur. Okay, so briefly, maybe we can talk about if the Apple users here, we can talk about how if your child is using an Apple device like an iPhone or iPad, we can talk about how to set up controls, and then I'll demonstrate it as we wait for Mr. Manolata, who'll be talking to us more about the parental control. Emmanuel, are you there? We have some people using Apple devices. You can unmute and give me feedback. Do you have Apple device users? Are some of the children using iPads and iPhones? Anybody? Somebody? Okay. We got a few responses.
Please, you can unmute yourself and respond.
Okay, yes. All right. Shortly, I'll be demonstrating how we can
What
get
will
assistance.
the pink grade 20 to ben wa feel any only inlay she go wa chake me yani enany.
Can you unmute yourself, please? Thank you. Mrs. Ofori, I'm in the waiting room. Can you let me in so I can do some demonstration on how to set up parental controls on the iOS? Emmanuel.
Yeah. Look,
Okay, good. Emmanuel, we missed you.
okay, I'm here.
All right, so you can take over.
Have you done you have not done your iPhone?
No, so you go ahead and then.
Okay, I should start my own, eh?
Yes, please.
Okay, good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. All right, so today I want to handle just a simple thing. That's the Microsoft Windows operating system parental controls. And I know that most of us have kids that are doing the Zoom for school. Their schools are requesting that they have to be on the Zoom platform. So you have a laptop or you have a PC at home they are normally using. Because some they have to type, some they have to design something. So normally they use PC, they use laptops or PCs. And on your blind side, they may be doing a lot of things. So how to get some controls, whether on that device or off that device, is critical. So what normally we teach is that, I'm going to share my screen. What normally we teach is that parents can have a Windows OS platform like this. Can you see my screen, please? Can you see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you have an operating system like this. Now, when you go to start here, you realize that the app here has a start button here, and then we have the dialog box which will lead to here. You can see this. Now, you have option to, for example, come to settings. Click on this settings. You have something like this, sorry. A minute. So come to settings and you have something like this. This is a dialog box you see when you come to settings. Now, you have system, device, and all of that here, but there's a one dialog box icon you call account. Now, in the account, you can scroll down here to see family and other users. When you click here, you can add a family member. Now, what it means is that you can actually create an account for your child. So if you look at this PC I'm using, the desktop you see is for me, the administrator. But if I want my child to log on with her credential, whatever I'm using the platform to do, she will not have access to. She can use her own account. I will come here and create a different account for my daughter or my son. So how do I do that? I can add a new family member, okay, by clicking on this, and then add my child here. For example, maybe let me do a demo with this one. So I have a child that is not on my PC. I'm going to create an account for him. So I say add him as a member of my family. Now you see there's another one here called organizer. Organizer means that that person can be a grown-up. Let's say maybe you have an auntie or grandma who's supposed to supervise the child whilst you are at work, and you want to give the privilege for that person to supervise the child. You can add him or her as an organizer. But here we are adding a child, so a member. So a member can be a child or adult. So I'm going to add a member, and then that member should have email address and password. But the child may not have an email address, so I will say create email address or email address for that child, for a child. So I come to this page. But if the child already has an email address, I can just put it here. Maybe Efia at whatever, hotmail.com or outlook.com. I can do that one here and I can go. But if the child doesn't have an account, I can just put the child account here and I say create a new account for the child, all right? Now, this is a Microsoft platform. That's what it's Outlook. Okay, so I just create an account. Maybe my child is called maybe Jennifer, or maybe let me look at local name. Maybe Efia, okay, Mensa or something. Let me do that. Okay, so Efia Mensa at outlook.com becomes her username, and I can create the account. And it's not Efia is so let me make it Efia maybe 2020. Okay, then go ahead. Oh, I still don't have it. Okay. Okay, let me change the account. Okay, let me say demo 1 2 1 2 3, something like that. Let me see what's available. Okay, let me use something like that. Okay, demo something like that. Okay, so I go on and then I put a password here. Okay, so maybe she's called Efia, and then the surname is Demo, all right? And I go on. So I put the date of birth here, and it's critical because that will also help Google to know how to restrict her. So she was born maybe in the year 2013 or 2014. Well, she's 6 years old. So then automatically the system knows that it's a child. All right, so once we put a date of birth, we know that that's a child's account. Now I close, and then when I go to my account, whereas the demo 1 2 3 whatever at Outlook is here already. I have a number of children I've actually used in the past for my demos. So these are all my family members. So I have a child 1, child 2, and then there's an adult. That's one adult. So when I put a person as an adult and I indicate as an adult, it will show as an adult. So let's come here and manage the family settings. Now all these people are here. I'm going to manage them and look at what I can do with their usage. So when my son or my daughter, this IFIA demo, the one we created today, demo for training is here, another child, if was some person, another child, I have a number of children on the platform. So today I want to look at IFWA is the account I just created. So I go to her activity. Now, on IFWA's activity, I can come here and actually limit how she handles her apps and games. So I can come and change the restriction and then look here. Now, because I'm using the Microsoft platform, I don't want the child to use any other browser so that I can monitor the activity of the child. Look here, the child is 6 years old. Automatically, it comes up here. The child is 6 years old here, and then I can have opportunity to block every site I don't want the child to look at. So always allow, always block. Now what it means is that if I come here, if I come here, always allow means that these are the whitelist websites. So maybe I want my child to visit, forgive me, okay. Okay, so you see that for the browsing, for the web browsing, if you say always allow, which website do you want the child to always go there? So maybe say I want the child to always access YouTube Kids, for example. All right, so I do that, and then I put it here. So you can actually decide that every website you want the child to always access, you can put the site here. If I don't want the child to access any website, like maybe a Pornhub, I don't want my child to visit pornhub.com or something, I can just put it here. So this one automatically is blocked. This site will not be active. But if you don't want to go through this trauma, you can still block all the innocent websites. You can actually take specific website and say, I don't want my child to go here, and take other websites and say, I want my child to go there. You can actually set it up here. Now, let's come up here and look at the screen time. Now, on the screen time, because this is a Microsoft platform, we are looking at the Windows and then the Xbox One. So if I open the screen time, what then happens is that I can come here and tell Microsoft that if my child logs on to her machine, within this time, don't allow her to see anything. So I can kind of say, for Sundays, let her access, because it's a weekend, let her access the website or anything on the platform that we have allowed her to access for 3 hours. All right? Then on Mondays, because it's a weekdays, let her have the access for only 2 hours. We can do that. Then we can do 2 hours for each and all of that. We can actually set them up like that. So the days will come, and then the weekends we give her more time if you want it. Okay, so we give her, and then maybe Thursday we can give her like 30 minutes, whatever you want to do, and then on like that. Now, if you look at this, we have the time slot. We have 12 a.m., 4 a.m. Now, 8 a.m. is the time slot. Okay, so I come and click on Sunday. Now, on Sunday, I want my child to browse the internet after church. So maybe let's say she will have access to the internet from 4 p.m., okay? 4 p.m. To 6 p.m., just for 2 hours. Okay, and you add, that's all. Now, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., you remove this one and add this one. So 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. is what the child will have access to your phone. So if you look at the schedule, between 4 and 6, the child has a go ahead to browse it. What it means that anytime from here to this place, the screen will not even open for her to access the computer. All right. So if, for example, she's going to have a Zoom class in the morning, I can add another class. Okay. In the morning, allow her to have the session from maybe 10 a.m. to maybe 12 noon, for example. Okay. So I'll do that. And once you set it once, you don't have to come back to it. So 12 noon, and you add it. Now, once this is done, you can have that one also set up. So the child has all this time to maneuver her usage. Okay. her use when that all off season. If she is not supposed to actually do anything within that time, she can't have access to those sessions. And so you can have control over that as well. Now, you can do the same for each of this. So the blue say, every time you see the blue, it's allowed. If you want to restrict, you come on it and click and then restrict the time. Whatever time you want the child to use it. And then when you don't want to, you want to reset, you can come and remove it and set it again. Set a new time schedule for the person. And it's very, very, very robust. That's what happened. And when you want to block, this is a block, so you block. And all of that. I'll be getting it.
Yes, Emmanuel, we are getting it.
Are you good? This can I go on?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so I can go on. All right, so another thing that happens is that this thing we are doing here, we can actually do a healthy habit. This space here, you can do the wallet, actually allowing the child to do online purchases, which I don't advise people to do. But if you look at the games, once you have done the screen time, the child now, with this one, the child can go on her device between this time you have allowed her. But within that time, you can also decide, okay, while the child is on the platform, on whether the desktop or the Xbox, I want her to do specific things. So this is what you do. We count the apps and game limits. So on that platform, what are the games, what are the specific things you want her to do? Do you want her to play her games? Do you want to use hello? Okay. So do you want that? So whatever you want the child to do, you can select what you want the child to do within the time allotted for them. All right. Let me come back and also show something here. Now, content restriction. Now, if you come here, because we are allowing them to use the Windows operating system, which is either you are using the Edge or what, you can just come and remove the Chrome. So you don't want the child to use the Chrome. Come and all the apps, all the operating system, just remove them. So you can actually show all of them are here, plenty. So you can remove all of them and then leave them to use only the Windows operating Windows browser. That will help you to do your reporting. So that when you come to your activity log, okay, when you come to activity log, you'll be able to manage whatever they do, which site they went, which games they visited, which browsing search they did. So they wanted to search for anything. You have the history, outline here, how many hours they spent on the app. If you have not done any parental control on it, and you have just done this, you have not restricted them, you can actually use them to monitor what they do. So if your child is like 16, 17, and 18 years old, and you don't want to restrict them, but you want to monitor what they do, you can use this one. Just come here and look at what they've done. So this is this. But apart from that, 28 days, because we opened the account just not too long ago, we are just looking at June 28th now. But if the account actually travel for 1 month, 2 months, we can select the date and the duration we want to actually manage or restrict. All right. Now, with this account that we have created with this child, what if every device the child will enter with this particular account, we can monitor the child either on the same PC or on the remote PC. Now, if you look here, if I come back to my this platform, I am the administrator with this my account. So if even I go to office and then I log into my office account with ramsesgh@outlook.com.
Alima, ni pencil. Ni pencil.
I can still monitor and see what my child is doing with her device at home, although I don't have the same device in my hand. I can remotely, right? So basically, then it comes to add a member, okay? By going to the process of adding a member, by the email address and all of that. Another thing I want to also show you is that you can also add what we call other users. These are users that you can add to monitor the kids. So I'm doing like other users. I can. Someone is asking a question.
Don't worry for a better. I don't have any other pencil in it.
Hello?
The pencils right now, there are about 3 rooming. You say.
Okay, can you please mute
Don't
everybody and
go and look
unmute
for
me?
it
Let me
and let me.
continue. Okay, all right. Okay, so please let's continue. So what I'm saying is that you can come here and add a member of the family, and once you add that member, the member becomes here. Then you can also add other users, okay, which of course they will actually be able to log into that computer with their own credentials. But when you are doing the member thing, when you are adding a member, what you must notice that you can also assign your own privilege to an organizer. Here means that I have a caretaker at home, but I won't be able to monitor the child all the time with my device. So I can give that privilege to another grown-up. So organizers are adults that can edit and actually monitor the child safety. So whatever you do as a parent, you can send that same duty to somebody, maybe your sister who is taking care of the child, or the grandma or whatever. They can become organizers. You send them, you put their email addresses here and send them. When you do that, they will accept to be organizers, and then once they accept, they will be added here. Now, they will have a privilege to now even come to this place and manage their family settings by restricting the child and giving the child time to be on the screen and all of that. So these are the basic things I want us to have a look at, and then we can come here and we actually manage each child. So when we come here, we can manage this child. Maybe I want to manage Sompa here. I can come to a platform and manage her activity and see what she has been doing on her screen time. Sorry, forgive me.
Hello, Emmanuel. Hello?
I think we've lost him. Dr. Melissa, I think we've lost Emmanuel.
Okay. That was very engaging. The way I was all ears and excited. Okay, Emmanuel will join us shortly. Please, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat box in the meantime. And if you are also enjoying it, you can give us feedback. Thank you. Emmanuel is back. Hello, Emmanuel. Hello?
Let me see. Okay, let me unmute him.
Emmanuel.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. So what I'm saying is that if you come here, if you have maybe 4 or 5 children, like me, I have a lot of children on my portal. So I can come take this one, and then I say, okay, let me manage the activity. What has she been doing? So I can come to activity log. And once I come to activity, wait, I see her, all the things. Because I don't have a lot of information about her, I won't be able to give you. It's a new account I created. So this will help me to know that all the apps and games she's been playing to be here. All her browsing history will be here. And it will be on my PC at work or any PC I've actually logged on with my credentials. And I will see how much time she spent on her PC. I will see what she's searching on her browse on the website, what she's been doing, who is talking to her, and the things she has been doing. I can actually come here to look at how much time she spent on the screen. They are here. And then I can have those reporting architecture embedded, here. And then I can also come and do the limitation and stuff here. But the spending thing is what I don't want to do, because normally you have to actually add your credit card, this and all of that for the child to buy apps and games. I don't think it's something you want to do, but you can do it yourself if you want to do on your machine and then give the privilege to your child. So basically, that's what I think. You can also navigate around it and see what you can do with the other things that we can talk about. So you can come and change the limits, and then I have other family members from here. You can also actually click on them and be able to manage them as well. So basically, that's about it. Any question at this stage, and I will respond to them. Doc.
Yes. So
I want you to do, if you can do your own, it will be okay. Or
yes, okay. So I'll take over and
okay, so try sharing your screen. Let's see if it will work.
okay. And then so I will be sharing on how iOS users can also set up controls on the devices of their children. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen on my iPad. Please, can we all see? Hello? Do I have any? I can't hear.
Yes, please, we can see.
Okay, all right. So on your iPhone or I'm using the iPad now, you go to settings. Okay, so go to settings, and then on settings, you have, it'll come up screen time. Okay, so turn on screen time, and it has various options, just like the Windows gave us. So we continue. Okay, so it's asking you, is this your iPad or your child's iPad? So let's say that this is my child's iPad. Okay. So it's asking you now to set a schedule for time away from the screen. When do you want your child to be away from the screen? So let's say by 7 p.m., I want my child to be off. And then I don't want my child to be on it till 10 a.m. So I set that up as well. Good. Now it's asking us to set time limits for the various apps. Okay, so what do you want your child to do? Social networking, entertainment, productivity. Okay. So you can customize
Grandma, did you finish coloring
the
your book?
content and privacy settings as
Come and show
well,
it to me.
and then set up a screen time passcode. So the screen time passcode is what will restrict your child from having access to changing what you have set in place. So you are the only person that will be privy to what passcode it is. So you can see that set up limits for every app you choose or every section you choose. It gives you the opportunity to set the app limits, and then you secure it with a code. Okay. So whatever you want your child to do, you can set the time, and that's it. All right. We can, okay, now if this iPad is yours, and we said that in taking care of your own mental health, you can set all these things to check yourself. Okay, so this is my iPad, I can go on and it will show me all the activity, how much time I've spent. I can set a downtime. Okay, when do I want to be away from this screen? Well, it's yours. So you can change at any time. You can set time limits for the apps that you use, just to make sure that you're not spending too much time on other things. Okay, so in your spare moments, I believe you can play around this and see what other things you can do on your iOS. I hope iOS users are cool.
Okay, Doc.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so Doc, I want to also I want to add something to what you asked me. For the iPhone, it has a lot of very good family features in there. So I would not advise parents that you should not even try to install a third-party application. It has everything in there. So take your time and go through it. You can even turn off the camera. Like if you don't want your child to use a camera to take selfies, you can turn it off. So take your time and go through all the features. And then you can set the age limit. Like if anything, like if it's music, if it's a movie, you can say, okay, I want the child to watch a movie. I want the child to listen to music, but I wouldn't want a music that is rated about 10 years old or 12 years old. If you look at the screen time here, you'll be able to do all of that. So you play around it, and if you have a challenge, can revert, and I will assist you on that. Okay.
Okay.
And again, Doc, please, if this thing, you have to do it on your own device, so as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because sometimes we accidentally give our phones to our kids to use them. And then because our own phone, we don't even follow up with them. So if you set the controls on your phone, it will remind you anytime you are trying to access anything adult that put in the passcode. So that in case the child is having that device accidentally, and then is actually accessing anything, it's your phone though, but it will prompt her to bring up any the passcode if you are putting there, so that they don't accidentally fall on other things that may be unwholesome for them. Are we good?
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes. Amma is very happy because
All right.
he asked the question about
Okay,
iOS last week. All right.
So if any question is there, we can respond to them.
Okay, so I can stop screen share and we invite any more questions and any more comments. Do you have any more comments, any more questions? Is everybody okay with the
Hello.
parental controls? Yes, please.
Hello. Good evening.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you so much for all this helpful information. I just want to find out that with all these things that have been shown us, or putting restrictions and all, looking at how children of today are, most of the time you put in this restriction, by the time you realize they're able to reverse them. I want to know if the same goes for what we are seeing now. That is it possible for them to reverse them? But sometimes you put some settings on TV. By the time you come back, people have reversed. That's what they have to do. When they are done, they delete quickly before mommy and daddy come around. And it's back to normal. Just like you did it when you were leaving home. So I wanted to find if the same applies to what we are doing now. Thank you.
All right, Emma. So what do you have to say?
Yeah. Doc, I'm here. Doc. Doc, I can hear you.
Emma, can you respond to the question, please?
Sorry, I missed a question. Can you come again, sir? Just summarize for me in a minute.
Yes, she wants to know whether it is possible or impossible for children to break through all these parental controls.
Okay. All right. So the first thing is that every software It's a work in progress. Okay, so anybody can go on the platform, study the software, then find the vulnerabilities, and then the person can go to YouTube and make a video about it. All right. So if your child is actually watching YouTube, there's a probability of the child seeing those videos. Okay, you can do ABC to bypass this particular restriction. Having said that, I've always said that my best PowerPoint for parenting children is to have engagement and talk to them. The parental control is not the ultimate. So children can bypass it in
I think we've lost Emmanuel again.
No.
You understand?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
We lost you, so say what you said again.
Okay, I said that the fact that a child can bypass a parental control does not mean that we should not put it there. The same way somebody can break into your house doesn't mean you should not lock your door in the first place. So it's possible, it can be done, but I think that we should still use it and then let them break into it, and then we will. It means that the child, it's a good plan for you to start a conversation around the security awareness for your child. Are we good?
Yes, we are good.
Okay.
I think you need to go, if you can, go to the Google link again, because we seem to have new participants today. And somebody's asking about
Somebody's
settings applicable for Android phones.
asking a question about Google Family. Hello, Doc.
Yeah, somebody's asking about Android apps for parental control. Okay, so I believe Emmanuel.
Okay, so I'm here. So, Doc, are you here?
Yes, I can hear you.
Your Doc, I'm going to share my screen right away. Now, I said last week that you can, okay, I was using an emulator, okay, and I said that we can, sorry, I'm now loading it. So I'm just going to take you through briefly, okay. So the Google Family Link has two applications, okay. One is Google Family Link for kids and teens, and the other one is Google Family Link for parents. So you just go to your app store, like the way you see my app store, my Android platform. I can come here and then I can just look for, just download Google Family Link for kids. That's one of them. So you can download this on your child's device, okay? Then you do Family Link for parents. It's another app. So once you're actually downloading this one on the child device, then you come on your own device and download the Family Link for parents, okay? Family Link for parents. So for kids and for parents, so this is the parent one. So this one will be on your device and this one will be on the child device. And then you synchronize it. So you can go through this process here, and they will ask for the child's email address that he used to set this account, and then it will automatically sync the two. When it gets synced, like you, okay, I've uninstalled, so I have to install again. So when you install it, it will tell you that take the child and add a child account. When you add a child account and click on that child, it will tell you all the things you can do in terms of the management, whether the screen time, the what do you call it, the geolocation architecture, the issues about how long they stay, what app they are downloading, their browsing history, and all of that on Google and on the Android application if they are using a phone. So this is huge, but I can't download it. It will take a bit of time. I've taken it So that's how it is. You put the family link for parents on your device and put that on the chat on the device. And you can go through step by step. It's a very simple thing, and link the two, and then you'll be able to do that. Nobody can have a question after this. You ask me if you have a question, but I won't leave it at this point, and I ask a question if you have them.
Okay, so the nice thing about Google Link is that if you have children, then every child must have their own device with their own account on it.
Yeah, they have their own device.
And
all of the devices on one parent platform there.
Yeah, so you, the parent, have your phone, they have their phone.
So you can even come and set it up.
Go on.
Please, any question for me, please?
Sorry?
I'm saying that you can even use your desktop like the way I'm doing it to come and set it up here. You can use this portal to set it up for your children as well. So it's very, very adaptive, and you can actually manage all the portal with all these ones. All right. So at this stage, Doc, you can allow them to ask more if they have them.
Okay, I was just commenting on the Google link that is, I've found it very useful.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Sir.
Sometimes I when I'm at work and I want to see what the children have been doing, and I go to Google and it tells me how long they spent on whatever platform. So I know that instead of studying, my daughters are YouTube, and I can call and ask, what are you doing on YouTube? Why are you spending so much time on YouTube? And then every day, I can check on my device what they've been up to. Okay, and sometimes you can explain and say, oh, I spent a lot of time on Google because I had to research for this assignment, that assignment. And I think it's helping them because when they know that you will be there to hold them responsible and accountable for what they are doing, then they know, they always ask that, oh, can I go to YouTube to entertain myself? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I think this is the whole aim of this meeting, to make sure that we're not leaving our children without not being monitored. We're not just allowing them to do their own thing. And we are saying that it's important at this time because they are more exposed to social media. They are spending longer hours. There are more evil people online. And so if we don't wake up to a parental role, we are likely, by the time this pandemic is over, we are likely to have even lost them to all sorts of things online. Okay. And so we're still open for your questions. Don't forget that I have already shared some parental controls in my presentation, and I deliberately put my presentation for those who will still be interested in other apps beyond what we have shared. Okay, you can take a look, and most of them are very user friendly. Since we said that no one size fits all, you can't. You have to look at your family need, like the American Association of Pediatrics comments that you have to develop a family plan. You have to know what your child needs and what you need as a family, what your family values are, what you think is best for your child, and then depending on that, make your own choice. Okay. So for instance, if your interest is really monitoring social media for your child, then you look at the back app. Okay, the name of the app is Back. Look at it and see how it will help you to monitor social media for child. And then Custodio is good for teens. If you're worried about your teen watching pornography, look at Custodio. And then the Net Nanny is best for children who are younger. Okay. And then there's also Kaspersky Safe Kit. And it's not the best for your budget because I think it's about $15 for the whole year. Okay, and I keep on saying that you can never pay too much to ensure your child's safety. You cannot. And the last one, which is good for iOS users, is our pact. And if you can look at what you have demonstrated to you on the iOS settings, and you can also look at the Our Pact app and see if it offers you more of what you want. Then you can go for it. But as Emmanuel advises, the settings on the iOS devices are many, and you may not even need the app. Okay, so depending on your needs, these are the things I want to share with you. And this presentation will be made available to you, so you can always come back to it to refer and to help yourself. Please, do we have any more questions, comments, contributions? Are you using any app that we haven't mentioned that you think can benefit others? You can unmute yourself and talk to us, please.
Please, you can unmute yourself and talk if you're not talking.
Okay, so no questions, no comments. Then, Emmanuel, have you got anything to add? Emmanuel, is there anything that we can benefit from? Okay, then we'd like to bring the meeting to an end. And I hope you are sharing your email addresses
Yeah.
so that we can send you the link when they're ready. Okay, so we have a few comments. I'll quickly go through the comments so that you know that we acknowledge the things that you have put in the chat box. Yes, so you can have access to the recorded version. And yes, the slides will obviously be in the recorded version. It will be on YouTube. And so Africanada Hub says good admonition. Social media on our mental health is a world-wide topic today. Very relevant. Okay. Thank you very much, Irene Booking. Your comments are also very relevant. And I believe as parents, you have to set the example and explain to the children the advantages of spending less time on the phones. It's very important. You can't do this work without open dialogue with your child, and you have to be a good example. Last week we shared a research that AVG is an antivirus company. We shared their research with us, or they interviewed some 6,000 children and parents, and they said that even half of the parents they interviewed admitted that they check their phone too very often, and about a quarter of them were worried that they don't spend enough time with their children. Okay, so this is important. We need to set a good example for them because they are watching us. And then, okay, we got very good, positive feedback. Derek, thank you very much. We're happy that it's been informative. That's the whole aim. And again, I revoke it, but in all this, it seems with the way children of today are so smart, they can easily learn these settings and do the obvious. In fact, the security is so tight. Most children will not be able to bypass it, even though yes, one or two will be able to, but it's hard. I set time limits on my children's devices, and then I traveled out of town, and they kept on calling and saying, "Can you kindly unblock us so that we can continue using the phone?" And I decided not to, because I felt like, okay, we've spent enough time. It's okay. When I come, we'll continue. And indeed, one of the things we talked about last week was allowing the children to get bored sometimes. Because when they get bored, then they can be creative. And when they get bored, we can see their talent. So technology is going to swallow their talent because you don't have time to do other things if you don't take care. Okay. So this is very important. Thank you very much for okay, somebody asked a question, Anafusu. Sorry, nearly missed your question. Emmanuel, are you there? Emmanuel. It says, how do we set up controls on Wi-Fi at home? Mr. Emmanuel Atta.
I think Portia also has a hand up.
Okay, then Portia can ask a question.
Hello.
Hi, Portia.
Right. It's not really a question. I just wanted to make a contribution to
Go
say
ahead.
that I'm really happy when you mentioned that our children should be our allies, because I have observed that when the children are older, let's say in their teenage years, sometimes you can actually see them texting to their friends, but they use jargons, so you won't even understand it. But when they are your allies and you have conversations with them, then they would explain to you as the days go by what these jargons means, or sometimes they chat using abbreviated.
Our tradition, I say you have to police our children. At this age.
Can the host kindly mute everybody? Sorry.
Yeah. So as I was saying, once we are allies with our children, then we would understand these things, because I know Emmanuel did say we have to police our children, but it gets to a point at their life where you can't police them 24/7. But when you are their allies, then they would always come back to you, because they know they can talk to mommy, they know they can talk to daddy, so that you would understand their world. Because otherwise, when they start having those conversations using jargons and abbreviated words, you would see it, but you probably wouldn't understand it, or it won't make sense to you. So yeah, the point of we being allies to our children, I think is a really good point, and I just wanted to contribute to that.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the points you have made are very relevant, and we've covered them already last week. So last week we did talk about first that your children must have a safety net. Okay, there you should introduce 5 people to your children who they can always go to complain about something. They can always talk to them about anything confidential, and those people should be there for them. So it can be grandma, auntie, this uncle, this pastor, this doctor, this whatever. Okay, so it will be good if those of us who missed last week's presentation, if you can drop your email, we'll send it to you. And you can also check our YouTube channel. It's All for Jesus. It's one word, All for Jesus. It's downloaded there. And the second thing we also talked about is about the jargons that they use. So we made a whole list of about 30 jargons that they use, so that parents can be aware of some of these things. So thank you very much for bringing them up. And we hope that those of us with teenagers will do our homework well. See, it's better to do what is humanly possible than not to do anything at all. Emmanuel, are you there? Emmanuel. Hello, Mr. Atta.
Okay, so I'm here. I think I've been muted throughout too.
Oh, sorry.
No, Emmanuel, you can unmute yourself. Oh.
No, when I unmute myself, it doesn't happen. They said the administrator muted me.
Oh,
Sorry
sorry.
about that.
I have to give you a privilege. I don't know how the setting has been done.
All right, Emmanuel,
So forgive me for staying away.
Don't worry. Somebody's asking whether you can.
Yeah, so let me give me the ones I have to respond to. Doc.
Yes, can you control the
Okay,
Wi-Fi?
okay.
Oh.
Can you put controls? Can you put controls on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you can. You can, but I think that has to be done with whoever is doing the configuration when the Wi-Fi is being set up.
Okay, so when the Wi-Fi is being set up.
Every Wi-Fi you are actually putting there, it depends on the device you are using and who is setting up the configuration for you. Okay, so you can also do all these parental controls on the portal, but that way it's not something you can just go in and do it. But it depends on what you are using. I know what the person is using.
Okay, so whoever asked the question, do you want to be precise? So
Yeah, if you want to know the kind of service you are using, device you are using for the access point or whatever, then I'll be able to assist you. Is there any question, Doc? Any more question there?
The question was put forward by okay, I can't seem to trace.
Okay, so any other question, Doc, that we have to address? So maybe the person will come.
I think Sam has lifted up his hand.
Okay.
Sam Balti.
Okay, Sam. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much for this very informative presentation. Last week was the very first time I think I saw the ad on a WhatsApp platform, and then I decided to join and listen what's happening. And it's very informative. I wanted to ask, how do you run? How do you support? Is there a way of supporting you and for the good work you're doing? Because it's just something, these meetings and everything. So that's that. I got to know of this last week when I heard, is it Michael, the author, when he was speaking about Google Link. In fact, I have to set up my kids for e-learning in this COVID time. And then I realized that when I put on the email address, I mean, in the Android system, you realize that naturally it would come and prompt you that, this is the kid. You want to control them and everything. So I had actually set them up already. That my daughter have some puzzle games she's been doing and everything. And then I set it up, put a limit on it, even the screen time. And so it's been very useful. So I just heard Dr. Nana Esigezi saying that it's something all for Jesus, but I don't know a bit about this group. So if you can just take some few minutes to just talk about it, and if there is anything that we can support in it, it will be useful. Nana, my name is Dr. Samuel Bolabi.
Oh,
I don't know whether you remember me. Yes,
I do. So, actually, when I saw the email address, I said, this is the Bolabi I know.
Yes, it's me. So that's okay.
Wow.
In fact, so if there's anything we can do to also help, I mean, for the good work your group is doing, so let's know.
Thank you very much. Actually, Happy Healthy Home is just an initiative by a team of friends to just support parents and families in this period of COVID. Okay, so everything that we put out there is for free. We don't have any monetary interest in it, and we are online on the last Saturday of every month. The last Saturday of every month. So the last Saturday was last week, and we decided to continue with our discussion today. That's why we're having it today.
Yes.
But
all right.
Subsequently, will be the last Saturday of this July. We'll be on again to share on a different topic, and the aim is to promote child and family development. So always be about children. It will always be about families, and we hope that this is how we can also contribute to helping people during this COVID period.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's a great work you are doing there. So congrats to all the minds behind it, and God bless you.
Thank you. Please send me your number privately.
All right. I'll do that.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We hope that you'll give us feedback on how these apps are helping you in subsequent times by email. Last week, I emailed all the presentations to those who got their emails, and we're going to do that this time around. And we hope that you'll be visiting our YouTube channel to see other videos that we have, all promoting child and family development. So in the absence of further questions and contributions and comments, anybody, any contribution, comment before we go?
Yeah, Doc.
Yes, please.
Doc.
Yes, Emmanuel.
Doc. Yeah, so I think you can, those who want to do other family safety settings and stuff, okay, they can actually contact me. I can assess them. If you are setting up and you're having problem, they can contact me and I will assess them. You can send me a message or something, I will help them to do that. Again, please, I was saying that I never said parents we should police our children. Okay, I was actually making a point that I have a PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is that we should talk with our children first.
Okay, thank you very much. Emmanuel, can you drop your contact on the chat so that anybody who wants any assistance, further assistance, can
Hey,
get in touch with you.
Adra, I know better.
Parental control in itself give. So that's what I was trying to say. That the to give that idea.
Sorry, we didn't hear what you said.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Now, I was saying, I was making a point that the parental control has a strength, and the strength is that once you're able to get some information about the activity of your children, that in itself helps you to have a base for the conversation. Because some parents don't even know how to start a conversation in the first place. So it's not like it's a major thing. It's what will trigger a discussion and a conversation around this topic we are discussing. That's why, as much as you want to talk to your children, do a bit of monitoring so that you know where the conversation should be tilted towards more. And that is the reason I'm talking about that. Okay. So thank you, Doctor.
All right, you can leave your contact so that anybody who's having difficulty setting up can get in touch.
Okay, I'm leaving it in the chat box.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Emmanuel, for
welcome
sharing your expertise with us. We hope that we all keep safe in this period and do all that we need to do so that we will be resilient. Okay, by the time this whole thing is over, we'll still have our heads up and our children will be safe, and it'll be easy for us to transition out of this without many bottlenecks. Okay, so Emmanuel has sent his telephone number. If you need any assistance in setting up your parental control further, you can get in touch with him. Any more comments, views, opinions? Okay, we're giving you time to, yes, I've seen all the requests for last week's presentation. I've noted it down. We'll send them to you as well, the link. Okay, so in the absence of any further questions and contributions, and hoping that you have Emmanuel's number covered, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos at the YouTube channel, All for Jesus. And we hope that you join us at the end of the month, the last Saturday of every month. We try to bring you some kind of discussion that will be relevant in these times. The Zoom details remain the same ID, the same password. And if you have any other topics that you think are relevant to the children and to families that you want us to talk about at this time, you can drop it in the chat box and we'll talk. We'll definitely do justice to it. On that note, God bless you. Have a lovely week. My Happy Healthy Home team members are not here. Is Eleonora here? Reverend Adam. Okay, but we'll hear from them in subsequent presentations. Thank you very much, and God bless you. If you don't mind, you can also turn on your video so that we can see you before you go. All right. Okay. Yes, you can see our hostess. Thank you very much for. Yes, Flo, I can see you. Okay. Yes, it's good to see the faces behind the names sometimes. Let's see you. Let's see you. Okay. Hey, Amma, I can see you. Hiya. Samuel, hello. Okay. All right. So you can also give us feedback when I send you email. You can send us a feedback. Thank you. So we can all leave the meeting at this point. Oh, is that Dr. Nyan? Hello. Good to see you. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and talk to me. Yeah, you're muted. You can unmute yourself.
You can't unmute yourself.
It's going to be rain.
Yeah, you're still on mute. I can't hear all that you're saying. If you can unmute yourself.
Who is it?
It's a B, Nyan. It's a B, Nyan, if you can unmute. Have you unmuted? Nyan.
Unmute yourself.
Yes, finally I can hear you.
Very good presentation. I missed it last Saturday, but I will
Thank you very much for joining us.
A very good presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the good work you are doing.
That's Mrs. Gay.
Thank you for the good work you are doing.
Thank you.
Yes.